Hi everybody! Today we're going to draw Stitch from the movie Lilo and Stitch. So you gotta make sure you have paper, something to write with. Remember, I'm going to use a marker, so there are a couple things that I won't be able to erase. I'm going to start up here in the top. I'm going to give it a little medium-sized circle for his head because I want to make sure I have room for his body. So here I'm going to draw a circle. Okay. Inside that circle, I'm going to start working on his face. So he's going to have two eyes. He's kind of going to be looking up in the corner. So I'm going to start here with one eye. And then around it, he kind of has those little circles. So I'm going to draw a bigger one. I'm going to start here by his head, go around his eye, back up and touch his head. And then on the inside here, I'm going to draw a little one that connects up here on the top. That one I'm going to color in black because that's the pupil of his eye. And this eye, he's looking this way a little bit, so I'm going to leave it a little skinnier than the first one. So here's my second eye. It touches the side of my head. Good oval shape. And then we'll do the circle around his eye. So I'm going to start up here in the top, and we're going to curve down and back up. Then same thing, we're going to give him a little pupil up here at the top. Color that one in. There's his eyes. Okay, we're going to work on his nose. His nose is right here in the middle of his eyes. It's kind of an ovalish circle. So I'm going to start here between his eyes and connect them. And then I'm going to curve back down around and connect him over there. Good, and then on the sides of his nose, we've got to give him nostrils. So I'm just going to draw little nostrils so he can breathe. And then he's got these lines on top of his nose. Gives him a little wrinkle right there. All right, we're going to move down here in this space and work on his mouth. So I'm going to start over here under the first eye, and I'm going to draw a little curve all the way to the second eye. There we go. And then underneath it, I'm going to draw a bigger curve. That way it makes it look like he's smiling. So I'm going to start right here in the same part. Curve it around and connect. So he's got a big smile on his face. And Stitch has teeth, so we're going to add teeth. He's got one over here, one over here. And then you can give him some at the bottom. There's his teeth. And then right up here in the corner of his smile, we're going to do that little tiny little frown line. So you can tell it's his cheek when he smiles. Good, now we're going to come over here on this side and we're going to work on his first ear. So his ears are kind of skinny and tall, so they're going to go upward. So I'm going to start right here in the middle of his eye. And I'm going to curve straight up and stop. And then back from this line, I'm going to give it a little curve back down. And then right here on his ear, he's going to have that little indentation. So I'm going to come out with a little line. And then all the way from there, I'm going to hook it back down towards his head. There we go. And then down here at the bottom, I'm going to give him two other lines that'll make it look like we can see the back side of his ears, like it's folded down. So I'm just going to give him a little line here. And then right here in the middle, come outward, touch the outside of his ear. There's his first ear. And then we're going to come on this side and give him a second ear. It's going to look very similar to this first one. So I'm going to start here in the middle of his eye. Come up and out to the top. And then we've got to curve it back down. I'm going to stop right here when I get close to the middle again. And that's where I'm going to put the little indentation on his ear. So give a little line. And then we'll hook it all the way back down towards his head. And then same thing, we'll give him a little indentation here. So that'll be the flap of the back of his ear. And then Stitch has some hair at the top. So I'm going to come up here. Now these are some lines that you'll be able to erase if you're using a pencil. So I'm just gonna kind of give him some hairs. There's his hairs. Now, if you had a pencil, you can erase that top line of his head. That way you can just see hair. If you didn't use a pencil, we can just color over it later. And then we're gonna come down here and work on his body. So his body is gonna be kind of a big U shape. So I'm gonna start here right under the side of his mouth, right here where his teeth are. And I'm gonna curve down. You don't wanna go too far. You have to leave some room for his legs. And then I'm gonna continue this line. And I'm gonna make it into that U like we talked about. And then I'm gonna give him a little curve up at the top. That way it looks like his body. Good, and then the inside, so he's gonna have this little line that comes all the way very close to this edge over here, and it's gonna get a little bit further away as we come around. So I'm gonna start very close right here. Just stay very close to your line, even at the bottom. And then when I get about here, I'm gonna start to make it a little bit wider. See how I've got more space over here than over here? That's just the inside of his stomach. And then we're gonna give him some little bit of hairs right here, because he's a little furry guy. And then we're gonna come on the side and work on his first arm. So his arm is gonna be right here touching his chin. And we're just gonna give a little hook out. And then down here touching his body, we're gonna do the same thing, but a little hook and do upward. So there's his arm. Now we're gonna give him a hand and some fingers. So we're gonna give those little hook there. There's his hand. And then we're just gonna give some points here. There's his finger. Another point out, another finger. And lastly, his thumb. And connect them. And then at the end here, you can just draw a straight line across all of them. Those are gonna be his nails. You can color them black. You can save them for another color. And then we're gonna come on the other side and draw his other arm. This one's gonna be on his body, like he's bending it. So we're gonna start over here at his head, and we're gonna touch all the way down, very close to his body. We're not gonna touch the bottom of his body though. So we're gonna hook around, curve down, and stop right there close to his body. And then we're gonna draw the inside of his arm. So it's gonna be on the inside of his body right here. So I'm just gonna draw a little hook here. Good. Now remember, that might be a line that you can erase if you're using a pencil. And then I'm gonna start back over here. I'm gonna start very close to it, but inside. And I'm gonna hook around. And now it looks like there's his wrist. He's putting it on his hip. And then right here, we're gonna give him a couple of fingers because the other ones are back behind his arm. We can't see them. So I'm just gonna hook. There you go. And then same thing with his nails. You can color the tips of them. And there's his other arm. There's another line that you might erase if you're using a pencil. And then we're gonna come down here. We're gonna work on his legs. So he's got two legs. We're gonna start here with the first line. I'm gonna curve down just a tiny bit like we did the first arm. So I'm gonna curve down. Good. And then I'm gonna come on this side and I'm just gonna do a little tiny line so it looks like he's bending his leg right there. And then we'll curve out from this line and do the rest of his foot. There it is, and we'll curve up. That's his first toe. We'll give him another toe, just another U, and then one more toe. This toe is gonna come in and down. So that way you can tell he's got a foot and a leg. So we separate them a little bit. Same thing on this side. I'm gonna give a hook all the way down and stop. And I've gotta get his little line over there so it looks like he's bending his leg. And then we'll do his foot and his first toe. Give one more hook with a wave. That's the second toe. And then one more, remember, curve it inward. There's his second foot. And you've got Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. Your next job is to color him. He's a dark blue with a little bit of light blue. His ears are kind of pink. I can't wait to see him. You guys did great. Good job.